Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at an icon in portable audio. The JBL Flip is back with its 7th generation, the all-new Flip 7, a bestseller making its return. Positioned right between the compact Go 4 and the beefier Charge 6 in JBL's lineup, this cylindrical speaker keeps its ever-popular design. While it uses a similar acoustic setup to its predecessor, the Flip 6, it promises improvements in several areas: durability, battery life, ergonomics. But the big news is that this is the first Flip to feature Bluetooth Auracast compatibility, and that drastically expands the possibilities for audio sharing and syncing. We'll come back to that. As for the practical info, the Flip 7 launched in March 2025 with a suggested price of €149.99. And you've got plenty of color choices: pink, blue, red, white, black, purple, and even camo. So, what about the design? At first glance, it's familiar territory. The Flip 7 looks a lot like the Flip 6, with its cylindrical shape wrapped in a nice-to-the-touch mesh fabric. The JBL logo is proudly displayed on the front, and more discreetly on the side passive radiators. It doesn't exactly scream premium, but the build quality feels solid, ready for intensive on-the-go use. One small difference: it's slightly longer. You can stand it vertically, but JBL recommends laying it horizontally so the passive radiators can do their job properly. Speaking of which, there's a small rubber foot on the bottom, but be aware, it's a bit small. On a slightly angled surface, it can become unstable and start to roll. Just a small detail to keep in mind. Let's talk portability. The Flip 7 isn't the tiniest speaker out there, but it's still very easy to take anywhere. At 560 grams, about 1.23 pounds, it's light enough to disappear in a bag. Its shape is easy to grip for hands of all sizes, and it can even slide partially into a large back pocket. And for this 7th gen, JBL has upped the accessory game. You now get an interchangeable carabiner for easy clipping and a handy wrist strap. Most importantly, it's now IP68 certified. That means it's fully dustproof and can be submerged in up to 1.5 meters, about 5 feet, of water for 30 minutes. That's even better than the Flip 6's IP67 rating. Perfect for the beach or pool. Connectivity-wise, it's mainly Bluetooth. But new this time, the Flip 7 supports the LE audio standard and therefore, as mentioned, Auracast. You'll be able to connect compatible Auracast devices without complex manual pairing. In our tests, the standard Bluetooth connection was stable, no issues there. It also supports multi-point, which is handy for connecting 2 source devices simultaneously, like your phone and laptop. However, there's no quick pairing system like Google Fast Pair. And good news for those who missed the O port. The Flip 7 allows audio playback via its USB-C port. You just need to press and hold the play button, then connect a USB-C cable. This is super useful for watching videos without latency, as we measured a slight delay over Bluetooth. One small downside: JBL doesn't include a USB-C cable in the box, apparently for environmental reasons. Moving on to the user experience, we find 6 large, practical physical buttons. You can control volume, play, pause, with double and triple taps for track skipping, forward and back, Bluetooth pairing, power, and the new Auracast button. Good news, JBL has improved the layout. The power and Bluetooth buttons, previously somewhat hidden, are now on top, much more accessible. The Auracast button replaces JBL's older Party Boost system. It allows you to easily link multiple compatible Auracast speakers together to create a stereo pair or a larger sound system. And if you have older JBL Party Boost speakers, don't worry, it's backward compatible. All this can also be managed via the JBL Portable app, available for iOS and Android. It's simple, stable, and fairly intuitive. It's almost essential for checking the precise battery level, as the gauge on the speaker only lights up briefly, but also gives you access to a useful 7-band equalizer to tweak the sound, the option to disable system tones, and managing your Auracast-connected speakers via the Party Together feature. So, what about the sound? The Flip 7 uses a setup similar to the Flip 6, a tweeter, a mid-bass woofer, and 2 passive radiators on the sides, all in mono. JBL claims improved bass and refined highs. Listening reveals the familiar JBL sound DNA, an energetic, fairly well-balanced sound, where no frequency range seems overly exaggerated or lacking. For its size, it reaches surprisingly low in the bass, giving presence without masking the mids. However, given its compact size, it struggles a bit with sharp impacts, like kick drums, or bass-heavy recordings in the low mids. Similarly, for the mids and highs, the overall balance is good. Vocals come forward nicely without excessive sibilance or harshness from intense instruments like guitars or snares, but it lacks a bit of finesse and precision in timbre. This is especially noticeable in the treble, like cymbals or the higher components of voices. Power-wise, it packs a punch. It can get very loud, but be careful. The sound quality degrades as you push the volume. Beyond about 60%, the bass rolls off significantly, and the sound becomes more aggressive. That said, it's already playing so loud at that level that you probably won't need to push it further most of the time. A technology called AI Sound Boost seems to help limit distortion at high volumes, which is good. There's also a playtime boost function meant to preserve battery. It changes the EQ, and the result isn't great. The bass drops drastically, making the sound lack body at moderate volumes and become almost inaudible at high levels. Only use this if you're really desperate for battery life. Let's talk battery life. JBL claims up to 14 hours or even 16 hours with Playtime Boost enabled. But beware, these numbers depend heavily on listening volume. In our tests at an already quite loud volume, around 79 decibels, it only lasted 3 hours and 40 minutes. At 50% volume on our test phone, we got 7 hours and 50 minutes. That's pretty average compared to the competition. Playtime Boost, under these conditions, only offered a modest gain, reaching 10 hours and 20 minutes at 50% volume. But surprisingly, turning the volume down to 25%, it lasted over 31 hours. These vastly different results suggest the volume steps aren't very gradual. Basically, excellent battery life at low volume, but it drops off quickly as you turn it up. So, the final verdict on the JBL Flip 7, it's a solid evolution of the Flip 6. We keep the iconic, robust design, now with better durability, IP68, and welcome accessories. The big step forward is the addition of Auracast and USB-C audio playback. Button ergonomics are improved. The sound remains true to JBL, energetic and enjoyable, though it has its limits in terms of precision and degrades at high volumes. The main weak point is the battery life, which is highly dependent on listening volume. So, it's an interesting update, especially if the new features like Auracast and USB-C audio appeal to you. That's it for our look at the JBL Flip 7. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you soon.